Hello, my name's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be sharing with you exactly what is in my Barclays Smart Investor account. I've had this ISA for around about 3 years now. I started investing small amounts and then the investments grew and I have a few £1,000s in this account now. I recently made a video which was a Smart Investor review and I can see that that video is still getting views daily, so I thought some people might be interested in seeing exactly what is in my Smart Investor ISA. So I'm going to go through all of that. Within this ISA I have 12 different funds, 2 different ETFs and then 3 different trusts. So I'll be breaking the video down into timestamps because I know some people really like investing in funds, some people prefer to invest in ETFs and some people prefer to invest in trusts. So I'll be breaking it down into those sections for you. I'll also be talking about the percentage returns that I've seen for each of these investments. So for the last year, the percentage increase in this Barclays Smart Investor ISA is showing up as 23.4% in the last year. So within that year, we have renovated our house and I have had to pull money out of this account to pay for different things. And then when I've had money to put back in, I've put money back in. So this figure is worked out on obviously all the different money that's been pulled out and put back in, and then you see an overall figure. So 23.4% in the last year is the returns that we've seen in this account as it stands, with the money removed that we've used to pay for renovations like the kitchen that is behind me. So I will tell you the exact returns that I have seen for each fund, ETF and trust that I hold in this account, but just to give you an idea, the annualized returns on average for these funds, trusts and ETF fall between 15% annualized returns based on 3 years, all the way up to a whopping 38.72%, which was for the Baillie Gifford American fund that I hold. So they are all relatively high return funds and trusts and ETFs historically, so around 15% to, as I said, 38%. But I'll give you the exact returns I've seen in the last year, but do consider that I have potentially pulled money out of specific funds or put it back in, or some of them I've only purchased in the last couple of months as well, these investments, so some of them I've only got a couple of months of gains within them. There's a few things to note about this account as well. As you will see, a lot of the investments are in funds, so there are 12 actively managed fund investments. When I first started investing, I mainly invested in funds, which is why you will see that there are a lot of funds within this account. And then it's only more recently I've started to invest in ETFs and trusts as well. So that's why you'll see that kind of weighting towards those funds. Some of the funds that I have, for example, I've got 2 tech funds in there. There is one that I prefer probably now. However, there was an investment that I made a while ago in a different fund, and I don't see the point in selling them. They're all kind of long-term holds and I'm going to hold on to it, even though there is a fund that I kind of prefer now in the tech sector. But you'll see that there is a vast array of different funds, ETFs and trusts in this account. You'll also see that in terms of sector, there is a combination of global sector, US sector, and then also China and Pacific sector within this account. Now, for diversity, I have got different European and UK based funds, but they are not in this ISA. They're in a different ISA, so I opened up an ISA with Fidelity, and then also my husband has a Barclays Smart Investor ISA, and when we look at our portfolio as a whole, we want to make sure that there is diversity across the world as a whole. So there are investments in Europe and then also in the UK, but and emerging markets as well, but they are in different accounts. So if you do look at this and think she's got an awful lot of America, a little bit of global and a lot of Pacific as well, then that is why the investments that we have in Europe and in the UK are outside of this account. So I hope that makes some sense to you. It's so important for you to do your own research when you're choosing your investments and what you want to invest in. This is just telling you what is in my Barclays Smart Investor ISA, so you can go away and do your own research and make your own informed decisions about what you might want to be investing in. But I think it's really interesting to see what other people are investing in and to see the kind of results that they've had in their investments. So I hope this is interesting for you. I'm going to list them, first of all going through funds, then ETFs, then trusts, and they are listed in order of the biggest percentage holdings all the way down to the lowest, and that's the same for everyone. So you'll see that I'll give you percentage gain, and then I will also give you the 3 companies that are their top 3 holdings. Obviously, when you look at these investments online, you can see their kind of top 10 holdings, but I thought this video would turn out very long if I talked about every single one's top 10 holdings. I do have a few videos on some of these specific investments. So for example, I'm going to talk to you in a minute about Baillie Gifford Positive Change, but I have a whole video on Baillie Gifford Positive Change and a whole video on one of the other investments that I have, which is Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust. So I'm not going to go into huge amounts of detail because this video will get very long. So I'm just giving you the top line names of the funds, trusts or ETFs that I'm invested in, their top 3 companies and the percentage returns I have seen for them so far. So let's go. First of all, we are starting with funds, and the first fund that I hold the most of is Baillie Gifford Positive Change. Now that is up 16.7%, and the top 3 holdings for Baillie Gifford Positive Change are Moderna, ASML Holdings and Tesla, and I've held this for the last year or so, and then I've topped up throughout the year. BlackRock World Technology D2 is up 11.11% for me personally in this account, and top 3 holdings are Apple, Microsoft and Kakao Corp. That's K-A-K-A-O Corp, just in case I'm saying it wrong. I really like to hold a tech fund within my investments. Obviously there is talk of tech being in a bit of a bubble, and there has been a recent tech sell-off, but I'm comfortable with holding this. The next one is that fund that I was talking to you that has had annualized returns of 38.72%. That is Baillie Gifford American, and this is up for me 42.5%. So I have held that for, I think, almost a year now within this account. Again, because of the renovations, I did sell some of it and then buy some more of it as well. The top 3 holdings for Baillie Gifford American are Shopify, Wayfair and Amazon. So the next one is number 4, which is Pictet Robotics. Now this is one that I recently added to my portfolio in the last couple of months. It's up 3.43% in the last couple of months, which I'm very pleased with. Its top 3 holdings are Siemens, Alphabet and then LAM Research. The next one is another Baillie Gifford fund. So it is Baillie Gifford Global Discovery. This is up 0.33% for me, and you will see that I have got a lot of Baillie Gifford funds within this account. I am aware of that. I do think that they do very good investments, and I'm really pleased with the returns that I've seen from them, but I do recognise that I am quite heavy on Baillie Gifford. And I am trying to diversify a little bit more, but I do really like them. Anyway, Baillie Gifford Global Discovery is at 0.33%. Top 3 holdings for them are Star Surgical, which I've recently actually bought some shares in separately, Tesla and Ocado. Then the next one is Baillie Gifford Pacific. This is up 6.35% for me. Top 3 holdings are Sea Limited, Taiwan Semiconductors and NNG. And the next one is Polar Capital Biotechnology. For me, this is up 7.48%. Top 3 holdings are Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Argen XSE, Valneva or Valneva SE. And those are the top 3 holdings. Then at number 8, so as I said, this is in order of largest percentage holding down to smallest, so I've got a smaller amount of this one. This is Baillie Gifford Global Stewardship, which is up 4.41% for me, which holds Shopify is its top holding, Amazon, and then Tesla. Then moving down, as I said, this is another global tech fund. I would prefer to kind of keep it to one global tech fund, but I bought this one a while ago and sold some of it recently, and then haven't bought any more, but I don't want to sell all of it and will continue to hold on to it. It's Baillie Gifford Global Tech. It's up 3.23%, and its top holdings are Microsoft, Apple, and Visa. Then moving on to Baillie Gifford Long-Term Global Growth, which is up 8.34% for me. And within them they hold Amazon, again, it's coming up again, Metuan, or M-E-T-U-A-N. My pronunciation isn't great on some of these companies, I'll admit that. And then the third holding in its top three is Tencent. So that's the end of the Baillie Gifford funds within there. So moving on now to some Vanguard funds. So at number 11, you'll see I've made a separate video on investing in Vanguard, but I have invested in the Vanguard Life Strategy 100%, which I did a couple of months ago. It's up 2.56%. Vanguard US Equity is its top holding, then Vanguard FTSE Developed World, then Vanguard FTSE UK. So I guess that's a tiny weeny little slice of the UK here in this portfolio, but it is very small, and as I said, I do hold UK investment funds outside of this investment ISA. Then the last Vanguard fund that I hold is the Vanguard Global Small Cap, which is up 0.29%. Again, I've only held that for a couple of months. Some of these are newer investments. Top three holdings are AMC Entertainment, Integris, and Diamondback Energy. So that is it for all of the funds I hold in this account. I'd be really interested to see what you think of them, and if you are holding any of them, I'd really like to hear about them too. So moving on to ETFs now. I hold 2 ETFs within this Barclays Smart Investor account. These are both relatively new for me, so I have invested in both of these in the last couple of months. As I said, I have got more into investing in ETFs and trusts in the last few months and the last year, rather than just specifically focusing on funds. So the first one is iShares Global Clean Energy. This is up 0.76%, which is great. Its top holding is Vestas Wind Systems, then Enphase Energy, then Ørsted is its number 3. The second ETF I hold in this Barclays Smart Investor ISA is Invesco Markets Nasdaq, which is up 11.9%. And top 3 holdings are Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Just to say, going back to the funds very quickly, all of those are accumulation funds that I've purchased. So any money that is made from those investments goes straight back and is reinvested into those funds. So that is what an accumulation fund is. You can buy either an accumulation fund with Barclays, or you can buy an income fund where the money comes out and you can choose to reinvest it. But I wanted to keep it nice and simple and to keep investing this money. So all of the funds are accumulation funds within here. Moving on to trusts. I hold 3 trusts within this investment ISA with Barclays. The first one is the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust, which is actually managed by, you guessed it, Baillie Gifford. I only purchased this around about 2 months ago. I think it is up 10.6%. Its top 3 holdings are Tencent, Illumina, and ASML Holdings. The next one, this is the only one in my portfolio that's actually down. So that is JP Morgan China Growth and Income. Again, this one I bought in the last few months, and obviously there have been some issues with investments in China at the moment, but that could be a whole nother video, and that's something I would go into separately in a different video. But at the moment, yeah, if you want to do your own research and find out about that, you can. But that is the only investment that is down in this portfolio, which is fine, and I do plan to still hold on to it. And then the next one, number 3, my third and final trust, is the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust. This is up 1.64%, and its top 3 holdings are Sea Limited, then Tata Motors, then MMG. So that is everything that I am holding in my Barclays Smart Investor ISA at the moment. As I said, I do have some investments in Europe and the UK outside of this investment ISA, but I am really, really pleased with the returns that I've seen within this ISA, particularly because this is the ISA that I very first started with. So this is the ISA that I've had for, I think, a little over 3 years now. I literally started by putting £50 into it, which was a bit silly actually, because I think the fees were £4 a month. But at the time I felt so nervous about investing that I was kind of only putting £50 in a month, which with £4 a month fees was a bit silly. But anyway, now I've got much more money invested in there. This is the account that's kind of really helped me grow with confidence and go on to open up different investment ISAs, do different kind of investing. I've obviously got different trading accounts as well now, so I do buy individual stocks and shares, much smaller amounts of those in my Trading 212 and my free trade account. If you would like any more information on Barclays Smart Investor or on any of these investments, then it's probably best to speak to a financial advisor. But if you don't have one and you fancy asking someone on the internet who might know the answer, then please do write in the comments down below and I will happily try and help. But again, always please do your research and don't trust everything people say on the internet. Go away and do your research and make sure you're comfortable with the investments that you want to make and that they are right for you, and you're comfortable with the risk level and everything, and only invest money you are happy to lose, but hopefully you won't lose it and hopefully you'll make much more. So wishing you all the very best with your investments. Thank you so much for everyone that subscribed. I got over 500 subscribers, now we're nearly at kind of almost 600 now, so I am so pleased with that. So if you fancy subscribing to this channel or liking this video, that would mean an awful lot, and thank you so very much for watching. Bye bye.